Listen closely. You're accessing a Level 4 Foundation Explainer. The data we're about to review is strictly restricted. We aren't analyzing a standard biological or spatial threat today. We are evaluating a localized, chronological fracture. This is the definitive operational analysis of SCP-052. Send no more. I want you to let those 3 words really sit with you for a moment. This wasn't a request. It certainly wasn't a plea. It was a warning, delivered at an unimaginable physical cost by one of our own operatives. As we proceed through these containment logs, you're going to understand exactly why this grim mandate must absolutely be obeyed. Section 1. The 59th Street Anomaly. Echoes of an R4 train. We begin with the primary anomaly itself, an object that physically simply shouldn't exist. SCP-052 is a Type R4 New York City subway train. Now, official municipal transit records confirm this specific train was built in 1932, decommissioned, and entirely sold for scrap metal back in 1975. And yet, it continues to manifest in pristine condition, clearly labeled as an A train. Its manifestation is entirely predictable, a fact that is both our greatest advantage and, frankly, our most unsettling reality. Every single Saturday at exactly 11:57 p.m., SCP-052 materializes on the Uptown A&D track at the 59th Street and 8th Avenue station. It arrives, it opens its doors to accept or discharge passengers for about 5 minutes, closes its doors, and then it just vanishes from our reality. Section 2. Strict containment procedures. Securing the perimeter. The Foundation doesn't merely observe anomalies, we hide them. The operation we execute every Saturday night requires absolute militaristic precision. First, the 59th Street Station is completely shut down to the public from 11 p.m. to 1 a.m. We use standard track maintenance as the pretext. Second, Mobile Task Force Gamma-6 locks down the entire perimeter. Third, operatives are authorized to use any means necessary to prevent civilian access and to immediately capture any entities disembarking from SCP-052. Finally, all subjects are securely transported to Site-21 for processing. There is zero margin for error here. Now, in the event of a breach, say a civilian happens to slip past the perimeter and witnesses the impossible arrival of this train, our protocol is highly pragmatic. Unwitting witnesses are immediately detained, administered a Class B amnestic to chemically erase the memory from their nervous system, and then they're released back into the city. It's a necessary erasure just to maintain the veil of normalcy. Section 3. Tragedies of the past. Temporal displacements. We really need to shift focus to the human cost of all this. The people who simply stepped onto the wrong train. Consider the mundane tragedy here. Passenger 052-1 was an accountant. He was just heading home in 2012, only to step off the train in 2008. Passenger 052-2 boarded in 1976. He was lost on his way to Studio 54, but he wasn't recovered by our operatives until 2008. Think about what that actually means. You make a simple navigational error, and your timeline, your entire life, and everyone you've ever known is permanently severed from you. The Foundation's response to these temporal refugees is dictated by a rather chilling bureaucratic divide from O5 Command. Passengers arriving from the past are generally given Class A amnestics and quietly reintegrated into our current society. However, under Order 69A1, any passenger arriving from a future timeline is stripped of their life and subjected to indefinite detention. 26. That is the exact number of recovered passengers currently being held in a permanent, indefinite state of detention at Site-21. This number underscores the rapidly expanding scale of our containment protocol. We have 26 individuals locked away forever simply because they hold knowledge of a tomorrow we are not yet permitted to see. Section 4. Horrors of the Future. The escalating threat. So, what warrants this life-altering detention? Well, as we analyze subjects returning from the future, the implications become deeply, deeply unsettling. Take passenger 0523, for example. He boarded in 2014 as an American tourist from Jacksonville, Florida, and was recovered by MTF Gamma-6 in 2009. But the man who stepped off that train was fundamentally altered. He now speaks fluent Albanian instead of English. Reality itself is warping in transit. And then there's the intelligence we gathered from passenger 052-6. This individual claims to be a level 4 supervisor from the SCP Federation, who boarded the train in the year 2124. He literally dosed himself with a Class A prime amnestic just to survive the psychological toll of the journey. The warnings he brings from the future leave a lingering sense of impending doom. He turned visibly pale when he warned us to never, ever open SCP-699. He claims to be a survivor of the Great Zombie Plague of 2092, which was caused by a devastating containment breach of SCP-008, and he confirmed employment under Dr. Charles Gears. Our future, it seems, is riddled with catastrophic failures. Section 5. The Fate of 052-4. Foundational Casualties. The Foundation, in its relentless pursuit of absolute control, attempted to actively explore the destination of SCP-052 by sending our own personnel right into the anomaly. These initial explorations ended in disastrous failure. In Test 052-1, an agent was placed on the train and has never been recovered. Total operational loss. In Test 0522, another agent entered the anomaly. We later learned he was violently expelled in the year 1980, where he was killed in a classified confrontation. But it is Test 0523 that dictates our current paralyzing stasis. Agent Redacted was sent aboard the train. Weeks later, when the train manifested, he was recovered as passenger 0524. He was alive, but he returned with both of his hands surgically removed. He possessed no conscious memory of his time on board, but under hypnosis, he revealed horrors that Command immediately expunged from the record. Which brings us back to the artifact found in the pocket of that handless operative. A simple note: send no more. Let the sheer terror of that message sink in for a second. Whoever, or whatever, controls the terminus of this temporal loop sent a surgically mutilated Foundation agent back to us solely to serve as a courier for this threat. And just to prove this was not an idle threat, we have to look at the case of passenger 052-5. This was an agent who entered the train at an unknown future date, completely in violation of protocol. When SCP-052 manifested on July 11, 2009, the subject's body was violently thrown from the train, landing 10 meters away on the platform. Upon examination, the subject was found to have been subjected to procedures so grotesque that the data has been entirely expunged from all accessible records. The hostility of this anomaly is rapidly escalating. We are left to analyze a situation of profound, disturbing uncertainty. O5 Command has issued permanent orders. No further agents are to be risked. So, we wait. We contain the station, we detain the survivors. We wipe the memories of the public, but as we process the mutilated bodies and the catastrophic warnings bleeding backward through time, a deeply provocative question remains. Applying the ruthless logic of our reality, as the timeline grows increasingly dark, what exactly is waiting for us at the end of the line on SCP-052? This concludes today's briefing. If you wish to maintain your current clearance level and ensure continued access to the Versarian database, a subscription to this channel is mandatory. Secure your connection by leaving a like on this file, and log your requests in the comments section below to dictate which anomaly we unseal next. Stay vigilant and expect your next set of logs every day. Secure, contain, protect.